Hello guys, this is Paul McWhorter with TopTechBoy.com, and we're here today with episode number 61 in our incredible new tutorial series where you're teaching your Raspberry Pi who's boss. What I will need you to do is pour yourself a nice tall glass of ice cold coffee. That would be straight up black coffee poured over ice. No sugar, no sweeteners, none needed. And as you're pouring your coffee, as always, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Sunfounder. Sunfounder is actually sponsoring this most excellent series of video lessons. And in this class, we will be using the Sunfounder Raphael kit for Raspberry Pi. Now, most of you guys probably already have your gear. If you don't have your kit yet, look down in the description. There is a link over to Amazon. You can hop on over there and get your kit. And believe me, your life and my life are going to be a whole lot easier if we are working on identical hardware. But enough of this shameless self-promotion. Let's talk about what I am going to teach you today. And what I'm going to show you is my solution to the homework assignment that I gave you in lesson number 60. So I need to ask, how many of you were successful? If you were successful, leave a comment down below. I am legend. Double chest bump. Or if you were not successful, I folded up like a cheap Walmart lawn chair. Now remember, you are also supposed to post your solution to YouTube and link to it down in the description below so we can see the different ways that people did it. Okay, enough of this introductory banter. Let's switch over here and let me just take a second to do a little Windows management here. Okay, I do need to get out of your way, and I need to find my cursor. There we are. Okay, I think we are ready to go here. Not quite. Let's see here. Takes a second to get where I want to go. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just start with the basic camera program. So let's go to www.toptechboy.com, and then you can search on something like calculating frames per second in OpenCV, okay, and overlay on frame. That's a good one. You can use the little search bar there. And then we're going to come in and you click on those two little page icons. That copies it. Then we're going to come back to Thani, and we are going to paste it. Couple of things you guys know. You know that I like to do frame instead of M, and so I'm going to change that to frame, that to frame, and that to frame, just because I like to think of it as a frame. That helps me think. And then because I am using the little pan tilt, my camera is upside down, so I need to flip that frame around. So I'm going to say frame is equal to CV2.flip. What do I want to flip? I want to flip frame. And how do I want to flip it? -1. -1 does 180-degree rotation. So that looks really good. Let's run it. Just make sure that we have that working. Okay, that looks good. We're the right direction. We're up at almost 30 frames per second. Everything is good. So what do I need to do now? What I need to do now is I need to go in, and what was the assignment? The assignment was I showed you how to find a face, and what you were supposed to do was find the face and the eyes, box the face, box the eyes, and report your frames per second. So you know where your Haar Cascades are, right? So your Haar Cascades, I showed you last week how to get to them. And you can imagine that we're still going to be using the Haar Cascade frontal face _ default. And then we were also going to use the Haar Cascade _ eye. Okay, those were the two Haar Cascades we were going to do. So what I'm going to do is I am going to come here under my color before we get to the while loop, and I'm going to set up my two objects, my two cascade objects. So first is going to be face cascade. Face cascade is going to be equal to CV2.cascade uppercase classifier uppercase, and now we've got to put the path over to the model. And I talked all about this last week, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but we go dot, we go open a string, we go dot for our current Python folder where this program is, then slash down to har, and then slash down to Haar Cascade underscore frontal face underscore default dot XML. And you want to be kind of careful, because if you don't put that in right, sometimes it might not give you an error. It might not give you an error. It might just behave real strangely. Okay, if we have face cascade, we're also going to want I cascade, and that is going to be equal to CV2 dot cascade classifier. And then where do we want to look? Same place, dot slash har, but this time we want Haar Cascade, and we want underscore I dot XML, like that, and then close the string, close the cascade classifier. Okay, we've got that set up. Now we're going to come down here, and we have our frame. Okay, we have our frame, and so now I'm going to make a frame gray, and frame gray is going to be CV2.CVT color, and then what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want to convert frame, and I do that with the CV2 dot color all uppercase underscore, and what am I going to go? BGR, where we are, to what? To gray. Like that. Okay, so now I should have a gray frame. Now that I have a gray frame, what do I want to do? I want to find the faces. So faces is going to be equal to face cascade, that's our object, dot detect multi-scale, like that. Okay, detect multi-scale. What do I want to look at? The frame gray. And then what parameters did we find? A scale factor of 1.3 and 5 nearest neighbors. So like as the box is going across, you want to see the face 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So kind of like 5 boxes as it's moving around finding a face. We'll call it a face. Okay, so now we have faces. And now what I want to do is for face in faces. So this will step through the faces. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to say that the X comma Y comma W comma H, and I explained this all last week, is going to be equal to face. And then I'm going to draw the rectangle. So what I'm going to do is now that I have that, I'm going to say CV2.rectangle. I've got the coordinates of the bounding box of the founded face, and that is going to be where? I'm going to put it on the frame because that's what I am showing, and then I am going to have the tuple X comma Y for the upper left corner of the frame, and then the lower right corner of the frame is X of the rectangle, I should say, X plus W comma Y plus H, and that is the lower right corner. All right, let's do that. Now what I will do is I will close that rectangle. This is what we did last week, but let's just make sure it still works. Forgot the E on multi-scale. You guys probably saw that. Put that in. Let's run. Boom. There it is. And something is wrong. What did we do wrong? We must have a mistake in here. I'm looking at detect multi-scale frame gray. 1.3 and 5. Faces is face cascade. I set up face cascade. Did I go to it right? Haar Cascade underscore frontal face underscore default dot XML. Man, that really looks right. Doesn't that look right? Are you guys seeing my mistake? I didn't put the rest of the parameters in rectangle. Okay, we need to give it a color, and that's, I'm going to make it blue. So I'm going to say 255, 0, 0, and then I'm going to put a line width of 3. Rookie mistake. Sorry about that. Hold your breath. Okay, boom, look at that. At 6 frames per second, there I am. It has found me. I am not so grotesque that it doesn't recognize me as human, so that's always encouraging. Okay, now what did you guys probably do? What you guys probably did is say, okay, well, let's say eyes. Okay, let's find eyes, right? So you found the face, so you probably said, let's find eyes. And eyes is equal to I cascade dot detect multi scale, and then detect multi-scale, and then what are you going to look at? ROI. No, not ROI. We are going to detect multi-scale of frame gray, like that. Okay, so now we have found the eyes. I told you some parameters to play around with there. I don't know if those worked for you or didn't work for you, but I'm just gonna try to go with the default here and see what happens. I'm just gonna go with the default on those parameters, and we can come back and play with that when it doesn't work. But now what I'm gonna say is for I in eyes, and then I'm gonna say X, comma, Y, comma, W, comma, H, and that's equal to the I that I just found. And now I'm going to probably just be able to grab this, and I think everything else should be the same to put the rectangle on the I. Okay, so let's see if it finds it, or if I got to go in and tune those parameters a little bit. Okay, let's see if I take my glasses off. Look at that. Okay, it found my face and it found my eyes. Pretty good. Okay, pretty darn good. Let me see if I play with those parameters. It worked pretty good with the default parameters, so I'm not going to play anymore with those parameters because it found it. And so let's try that again, and let's see if we're happy. Okay. Why are we happy? We're happy because we found the face and we're finding the eyes. Boom. Why are we not happy? We're not happy because we're getting 1 frame per second, and that's not good enough. And that's probably what you guys did. That's probably what you guys did. So tell me what is wrong with that. What incredibly obvious thing are you doing that is incredibly silly? Tell me what you just did that just blew the performance of your program out of the water. What are you doing? Somebody tell me. You are looking for an eyeball up in the corner of the room, and you're looking for an eyeball here, and you're looking for an eyeball here, and you're looking for an eyeball here. You're looking for an eyeball in 90% of the frame where you know that there is a very small chance that there is going to be an eyeball floating around the room. Eyeballs usually are where? They're usually on a face. So instead of looking all around the room for the eyeball, consuming valuable CPU resources, maybe instead you should be looking where? On the face. Okay. So let's see if we can come in and do this a little bit smarter. Did anybody actually do this the smart way? Probably there was someone out there who did that. Okay. So what should I do here? Okay, I have found the face. That's good, right? I have found the face, and we're happy that we have found the face. But after I find the face, what should I do? I should create an ROI, a region of interest, of the gray area. And what should that be? That should be my frame gray. And then what is the region of interest? Now remember, when we're dealing with this as an array, columns first and rows first, Y, rows first and then column, rows first and then column. So what is my range of rows? I want to go from Y, okay, I want to go from Y, which is the top of the box, and I want to go to the bottom of the box, which is Y plus height. That's my range of rows. Now, what is my range of columns? My range of columns is X, 2x plus width. Now I'm going to be looking for eyes in this little face box. Now I'm going to go ahead and create an ROI color as well, and you'll see why in a minute. And that is just going to be the ROI color is going to just be the frame. And then I think I can use that same range here. Okay, so I have a little face box. I have a little face box that is gray, and I have a little face box that is color. All right, now what do I want to do? I want to find eyes using eye. In fact, I'm just going to, I already have that line here. I'm just going to tab it over and adjust that. So I'm going to look for eyes using eye cascade detect multi-scale, but am I going to look in the whole honkin' huge frame gray? No, I'm going to look in ROI gray like that. Now I have the eyes. Okay. Now I have the eyes. I have the location of the eyes, but I've only looked in the face. So now I can tab this over for eye and eyes. This is eye, and then I will show it like that. Okay, somebody tell me what's going to happen when I do this. Have I really thought through it? I don't know, but let's run it and see what happens. Good thing it has run. Okay, but now what is the kind of funny thing? It's found the two eyes, but it's put them over there. Why? Why is it doing that? Well, because the coordinates that it found for the eyes were not on the frame. It was the coordinates on ROI gray. But I showed it on where? I showed it on frame. Okay, I showed it on frame, so it put it in the wrong place because I need to show it on what? Not on frame gray, because I don't look at frame gray. I'm not plotting frame gray. I need to look on it where? What are the right dimensions? The right dimension would be ROI color. So instead of frame, I want to put it on ROI color. Now you guys that are thinking are going to say, well, that's not working. That's not going to work because I never show ROI color. I just show frame. Okay. Well, yeah, let's just do this for fun. Okay, let's do this for fun. Let's do a CV2 dot. That wasn't right. Where do I do this one? Okay, so now let's do a CV2.im show. And what are we going to show this time? We're going to show ROI color. I'll just say ROI and then ROI color. And so now we should see like a little box, and it should have the eyes on them, I think. Okay, let's look. ROI color, what did I do wrong? ROI color, ROI color. What did I do wrong here? 41. Oh, I see, I see. That will only be there. That will only be there if it found eyes. Okay. It will only be there if it finds eyes. And so I think maybe I should only show that maybe right here. Like that. Maybe that'll work. Let's try that. Okay, I've got something going here, and I've got that. Now let's see what happens. Okay, look at that. Now, what is the expected result? The expected result is in my ROI, I have my eyes, right? What is not expected? In the main frame, my eyes are showing. In the main frame, my eyes are showing. Okay, so that is unexpected. That is unexpected because I put the rectangle on what? ROI color, and it went back and it showed up on the frame. Now, this is the confusing thing, and this is the thing that you have to understand. When I create this ROI color, what it does is it goes out and snags that little region of the frame. It goes and focuses on that region of the frame, but it doesn't create a new data structure. It is just pointing over there. It is just referencing it. So when I change ROI, I am changing the ROI region of the original frame. The data all remains on frame, and ROI is just referencing that. So if I change ROI, I change the main frame. Can you believe that? That is kind of crazy, isn't it? So what that means is I don't really need to do this part of it. I don't really need to do this part of it. All I need to do is just show the frame. Okay, so now let's run this thing, and now hopefully you'll understand what's happening, and hopefully it will work. So let's go. Okay, so there it is. Okay, and let me take my glasses off. And it is working. Okay, and this might not sound like a big deal, but we are up to 5 frames a second. From 1 frame a second, we're going 4 or 5 times faster. Why are we going 4 or 5 times faster? Because we're only looking for eyes. We're only looking for eyes in the face. And I'm wondering if the face gets smaller. When I get the face smaller, you see it's going faster. Why? I'm looking for eyes in a smaller box. Does that make sense? Now, as I come up and I start filling the frame, then it starts going a little bit slower. Does that make sense? Okay, guys, wow, this is really, really exciting. Man, I hope you guys are having as much fun taking these lessons as I am making them. That was just pretty darn cool. Let's come back over here. Let's look. I've been kind of watching this shot as I've been doing this. It looks like we picked some bananas today, and so you see we had some bananas down by the river, and it looks like they've already picked the bananas, and they'll be bringing these up. You pick them when they're still green, and then over time, right when the bottom ones or the top ones are starting to ripen, you pick them, and then they start. You store them, and then they ripen over time, and you're kind of eating them as they ripen. I was kind of hoping that I would see Kyria come up from the river. He's also harvesting the elephant grass for the rabbits, and so kind of some exciting stuff going on the compound there. But I digress. You guys probably get so sick of me going on and on about the things around me, but I just find them I find them interesting. We got somebody in a boat. They're really struggling there with that current. Let's take a look. One of my friends, one of my neighbors here. You see he has got a pretty strong, oh, is it? I can't tell. I can't tell if it's a man or a lady. It's trying to focus on the tree. Look at that wooden canoe. That might be a lady there that is fighting the currents. Okay, but I digress. All right, guys, I hope you're having as much fun taking these lessons as I am making them. I think it's time for me to give you a homework assignment. And what your homework assignment is to use your pan tilt servo. Okay, and again, if you didn't get this and you can't get it, you can at least do the assignment on pan by using the one little blue servo and putting the camera on that, and you should be able to at least do it for pan. But what I want you to do is to track face position in OpenCV using this pan tilt thing. So as the person moves around, it keeps their face in the center of the frame. How does that sound? That's starting to sound like some real artificial intelligence type stuff that we are doing here. And again, you could imagine all types of things, like you could imagine putting the PIR detector back on the Raspberry Pi, turning the camera on when a person comes into a field of view, and then actually tracking the person as they're walking around, but detect the person with the PIR sensor and then track them with the pan tilt. So you see, there's a lot of pretty powerful things that we are able to do here. Guys, if you enjoyed this lesson, give us a thumbs up. It always helps us with the old YouTube juice if you will leave a comment down below. And then, as always, if you've not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. When you do, ring that bell so you'll get notification of future lesson drops. And as I always say, share this video with other people, because the world needs more people doing engineering and fewer people sitting around watching silly cat videos. Paul McWhorter with TopTechBoy.com. I will talk to you guys later.